companies to support the government of Indonesia in the sustainable development activities, especially on the climate and energy finance. Learning from this work, I have some vision before to set up the startup. Unfortunately, maybe not my way on having my own startups before. So I choose to become a strategic advisor for several startups, including Rebricks now. There are also 3 other startups in the energy sector as the co-founder. So I believe the leadership is not only becoming the one in the front, but how we can also create a good puzzle by mixing or combining several available modalities or instrument to become a good instrument. Maybe that's from my side. You are still on mute, Dave.
Do you have? Are you married? Do you have children?
Yes, I'm married with the owner of Rebricks.id, Novitatan, and also have 2 child now. And my new baby has only come on the 18th November, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
And how do you combine that with work? Because I know you're very busy.
Yeah, I think time management is important, and also now because my baby always I mean we need to wake up early or in the early morning, need to tidy up the domestic activities, but also to work on several important issues. So that's the key of time management, and also the shifting the risk. I mean, also shifting the burden to others, to the team is also a crucial one. I mean, not only in the term of taking benefit, but also have a mutual agreement or also mutual process that when I shift the work is also because we want to achieve more efficient or effective result in the end.
Okay, and we're going to talk about behavior today. So
yeah,
could you describe yourself? What is your behavior in general, you think?
Wow. Yeah, I think I'm not so easy person actually, but with regard to the networking, several colleagues in my companies or in my startup said that I'm a good key networker, and maybe that's sometimes my plus and minus in this current situation. Before I love to do sport and also walking. I mean, very hard walking actually. But now I reduce that and also learning more work-life balance in how doing the activities or daily activities.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Honest. So if you are comparing your behavior at home, Deni private and Deni at work, does your behavior change?
I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah. Because I see from previous experience, I don't want to create more an important situation happen. So I mean, not creating more dramas or everything, but I mean, how I give my best also to the result of companies, to the result of my work as well, is also need to be balance with what I get also. So that's the crucial thing. So I prefer to reduce the unimportant things in my work and really focusing on my private time or my time with the family.
Okay. So I will add another question because I'm very curious, because you just said that your wife is the owner and the big boss at Rebricks, and I know you work for Rebricks. How does it affect your relationship, private and business?
Yeah, basically, previously I said to my wife that we need to have a startup or something that I think I learned from the agriculture era, industrial era, and how what will happen in the future. And I think some startup is one of the future setup for my vision. So I tried to bring my wife on that level, but in 2017 or 2016, I forgot. I joined the Indonesian startup competition, almost winning the competition. But in the end, me and also I forget now he become the YouTubers is not as predicted before. We failed at the time, and I also joined with my wife at the time. And then I realized it's not a good experience, but I realized that how I can have my vision, but maybe through some alternatives. So that's why I need to take my position not in the front, but try to become in the middle or in the back to push someone as the lead. So that's happened with Rebricks. So my wife is a good visionary woman on the waste and circular economy activities. So my relationship, of course, I'm trying to not becoming his bosses, but giving advice, good advice, how he can reach the output, how she can reach the target, the outcome, something like that. So
you're trying to coaching her.
Yes, not only coaching, but also sharing the vision together, sharing the goals together, and how to achieve the goals together. And also, my wife is also a hard worker. Sometimes we learn from the professional sides on how to manage the new organization. And yeah, I think Rebricks is quite promising companies now on the waste issues due to this kind of learning process. But with regard to the personal life, there is no problem within my wife and my side. But yeah, as a man and in the traditional culture of Indonesia, I need to let all of the money to my wife, of course, to make sure that the situation is comfortable with.
It is everywhere the same. It's not Indonesia only.
Okay.
And the wife will always say that my money is our money and her money is her money. Yeah?
Is that
general? Hey, so imagine that you are in a situation where you're under severe pressure, and then I mean severe pressure, really critical. For example, you have to make a decision now, and if you do not do that, it can actually influence the negative way of the future of your company. How would you handle that as a leader, and how would you approach that?
Yeah, the first one is, of course, thinking about what is the bad situation will happen on that kind of stressful situation. So I think when I can imagine what is the risk, that might be help me or keep me insane to find the solution of this stressful condition. So I mean, do I need to share this with other? Do I need to request help to other, or do I need to solve the problem as soon as possible? Depend on the situation, on the context of the stressful condition as well, and that makes me more easy or more calm to find the situation. And sometimes I'm also not so good to handle the situation, but when I pray and also when I keep surrender the problem to to my gut, for example. So I have a backup power on this kind of situation. But overall, there are it depends on the problem itself, on the stressful condition itself. So the clear identification of this situation need to be in the careful condition, so to make sure also we get the better result or better solution.
Yeah, if you know what the problem is, then you know also how to choose the strategy better.
Yeah.
So there was a negative thing. So now I want to know from you, what makes you more motivated? When will you work harder?
Before is the impact, yeah. Before I am seeking the impact. So, for example, my current situation, I'm also dealing with the line governments, line ministries. So it's mean that when I'm creating a good impact with this kind of activities, it's not only impacting to my side, my family, but also to a lot of people. That's the first thing. But now I'm also realistic. I try to become focusing also on the benefit and also the things that I got, for example, with regard to my family condition and also how to see the future of my child, for example. So that's also the things that I need to be careful thinking before doing something, okay, or before increasing my motivation.
Okay, that's a clear answer. And what would demotivate you? What makes you drop the work?
Sometimes the situation is not as expected as we plan. Sometimes the strategy is not work. Before I tried hard to solve the situation, but now I'm not thinking twice. Yeah, for example, yeah, Rebricks on the ways. The other companies on the energy, and also I work also on the finance, energy finance or climate finance, for example. So I think I don't want to create more dramas or problem because it can demotivate my work. I need to still focus on this. If I demotivate, I will lose on the opportunity in this area. So that makes me motivate actually. And before, yes, there are so many things, especially if the relationship is not good. Sometimes it demotivate me. But now I don't care about that, and I'm still trying to focus on the purpose ahead or forward.
So actually what you're saying is you need a clear approach and a clear strategy,
yeah.
And then you're motivated. If not, then you can drop it because you don't want that. Okay. And can you tell me what you think your strengths are in your personality? Why are you good at things?
I don't know, yeah. Maybe this is a nature gift or what, but sometimes I can highly respected by the other when I said in the professionally or for example in the professional work. I can reach from the high level position into the non-high level position, and they can trust, or they can listen, or they can agree with what I said or I suggested. So that's why I several times I received the comment from others that I'm a good key networker. But maybe in the other side, personally, I'm not as good as that. If you know my personal life or whatever, maybe I'm not as good at it. So but I don't know. Maybe this is the nature gives. When I do a serious thing, professional thing, people can hear what I said.
Okay, good. Thank you for your honest answer. And again, your honesty is required because what are you not so good at? What's your weakness in your behavior?
Maybe. Physically, I'm not as fit as before. Yeah, I am doing work every day, futsal, basketball, swimming. Now, the work situation is not
Flexible.
as flexible as before. Yes, thank you, Demi. So that's make me more fat than before, and maybe that's not good.
Okay. If you are with other people, right? How would you connect to those people? What is your behavior with other people?
The first one, I need to think or search something first about who is he, or who is he or is he, what I need to do with him or her, something like that. So I learned this experience before with the communities. So when I jump into the communities that can treat you with the knives or with something, we need to be more ready in the beginning. So that's what I need to see the situation. I learn, but so that makes me learn on doing this kind of strategy with other as well, with the line ministries, with the private sectors. I need to understand better about them first, and then listening first, and then after that create a mutual agreement with them. Because if we only talk and communicating without purpose, I think we're only wasting our time.
I agree on that one. and I know that you have different masks, so you are different positions, like you said before. Sometimes you are in a lower position, sometimes you are in the higher position. But I also know that you always try to lead like a wolf in the pack. Doesn't matter if it's needed to walk up front, you go up front. If you need fighting in the back, you go in the back. That's the kind of person you are. As I know you, but can you tell me, according to your opinion, what is important to be a good leader, according to you?
Yeah, maybe everyone can have their own leadership, right? So the practical skill, what I mentioned before, is about what I not only about nature give, but also the practical skill that maybe developed through the connection, through the communication, through the activities every day. So leadership means when we are know about what is the strength of this practical skill and implement that to achieve our vision or our goal. So that's what I mean, the leadership. Sometimes we need also to understand the team perspective, and when we learn about that, we need also to reduce this kind of ego or this kind of personal preference to blend with the team, because everyone know together everyone achieve more, for example. So sometimes if I join the team, I try to become the observer first, and my capacity is mostly on filling the gap, not leading in the front. So that's the leadership from my side. So when in the personal life, of course, how to strengthen my practical skill to achieve my goal or my vision. But in the teamwork, I try to not becoming in the front, but also trying to fulfill the missing link or missing gap that might be strengthening the success of the team.
Okay, yeah. You just described, also answered the next question, that what leadership skills is important to manage your team, and you just said, well, I'm observing and I'm trying to fill in the gaps, right? So can you in short describe how do you make your decisions, so business wise?
Yeah, the first one is depend on the context. Yeah, sometimes we need to do as soon as possible decision, because, for example, yeah, I face the situation when someone need to be take care due to, if not she will pass away. So example, so we need to in a rush and then decide with the good experts about what the treatment should we act as soon as possible. But mostly my decision come from the observation first. So that's the overall situation that I face. So when I need to decide something, I need to understand also the current situation, what's need to do or not, and then decide something. So because sometimes wrong decision can also bring us to the new problem, which is also not good. So that's the wrong things that need to be careful. Yeah.
Carefully measured.
Yeah, careful manage. Yep.
Measured. Yeah. Okay, so they're not here at the moment, but if I would ask one of your staff members, who is Deni as your leader, what would they say?
Yeah, maybe I mentioned before, I'm a good key networker.
Yeah, but how would they describe you think?
I think, yeah, because I can create impact through the connection, even though, for example, sometimes I'm not close with this person, but in short period we can create a good impact because the person believe what I said, for example. So for example, with Rebricks, yeah, I said to the Rebricks team, to my wife and also the other co-founder, please use this senior advisor. And then the senior advisor, not all is my close friend, accepted wow, they said, this is very senior in Indonesia, but it's easy for them to believe you, something like that. Yeah, because maybe when I interact with them, they see me as a good networker or as a good and trusted in the same vision with them.
Probably what you say makes sense for people in seniority,
yeah,
because you're also like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, really, thank you for your honesty.
Thank you, Demi.
You made a personality profile assessment from my sponsor, Success Dynamic Alliance. Mr. Max, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay. So
and just like magic, I will appear.
That's the miracle of internet nowadays. So,
yes.
Deni, I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Max, and Mr. Max is going to discuss the personality profile report with you, and I'm going to wish you a lot of fun, and I will take over when Mr. Max signs me back. Have fun.
Okay. Yep. See you later, Demi.
See you.
Okay. Firstly, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Max.
I know it's difficult for you to find time, so I appreciate you spending a few minutes to talk to us for our video series. It's been incredibly interesting listening to you talk. Linguistically, you know, how you speak and a lot of the words you're saying, you know, it really do back up the report that we did for you, that you are so detail oriented, but then some of your self-image certainly appears to be different to what we're showing right now. And I'm wondering if that's just been indicative of the changes or that you've had to go through over the last 2 years, or the frustrations born by that. Because the one anomaly that's showing up to me is where you're talking about being a great networker, and that's what your people usually see in you. And I am seeing you're right below the median line actually on the influence. So I wonder if the last 2 years you've just found yourself being a little less verbal than you normally would be. Would that sound right?
Maybe not in the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah, maybe because before Max, I learned a socialist topics. Called Marxism before socialism, something like that. That makes me pretend to not so uncommon with others, for example. But now when I shifting, I mean anarchy or Marxism sometimes bring us to more an unhappy person. But now I through the great knowledge that I have through these issues, the socialism issues, so I can bring that to the more implementing impact, maybe, how to influence the line ministries colleagues, how to influence the social activities or the NGOs or the private sector, how to deal also with this kind of business. So maybe that's what happened. And of course, my wife have a tremendous change on my point of view as well, because she is the one who taking me outside of the, before I work in Nias and Isumba in the middle of nowhere with the local community. Yes. Wow. And then my wife said, if you are not going back to Jakarta, we are not married. So that's the decision makes me also change, actually.
Yeah, because it's it'd be interesting to do a follow-up in 6 months' time, when hopefully all of the craziness is behind us. And perhaps when you're a little more settled in life, because a new baby certainly changes behavior as well.
Yes, correct.
So one thing I wanted to touch on, clearly you've read the PPR that we sent across to you. Typically somebody who's a high C like you would give us about a 70% accuracy score. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think this is new, for me, actually, about this profiling issues, and not so much that I say I can say, because previously I believe that people can change, actually, but this kind of tools can maybe also help us to understand what kind of our situation now, and if you are not happy with your position title, you understand that maybe something need to change in the future.
Yeah, I mean, just understanding a little of what you do. You say you work with German state-owned enterprises, was that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
one of them. Yeah,
they'll love you. I don't like to stereotype Germans, but I had a German business partner for many years, and just your attention to detail, your accuracy, your need to avoid problems by getting things right is just something that would massively appeal to him and just about every other German I've met. So.
Yeah. I think there are some offer from other donors, not only from German, but I'm happy with the organization, because the cooperation in Indonesia is quite smooth, and we have a good impactful activities as well, or program projects. So I'm still loyal with this German organization.
Yeah. Do you speak German?
No.
Okay. Just wondering, because one of the things we run up against, or one of the things that just interests me as somebody who is particularly interested in psychometrics, is which language people think in. Did you fill out the PPR? Did you go through that in Bahasa, or did you do it in English?
I am not remember. I think in English, before.
Yeah. Okay. So motivational factors, the indication we have here is that you're strongly motivated by precision, adherence to rules, and you're highly analytical, and you appreciate data. Does that sound about right?
Thank you, Max. Yes, correct. Yeah, because sometimes, for example, sorry, it's not about the Rebricks, but actually, when I work with the line ministries, for example, sometimes we need to provide the decision makers based on the based on the real situation, or based on the evidence base. I mean, so this evidence base is coming from the good, the valid data, right? So that's makes me more careful on that level, because if not, it's too pity if we give advice to high level person in this country without valid information. So that's what makes me taking that kind of position, Max.
I should imagine that it's really appreciated at the level of people you have to talk to certainly saves any wastage of time.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we picked up on in the report is just that you're currently experiencing some stress, and that could be work related, but I'm wondering if we're just picking up the change in the home situation with a new child. But you did mention earlier that almost that you find it frustrating, or you would find it frustrating if you'd made plans and then things weren't going according to plan. Are you feeling any particular stress? It's very low level work related stress, but it does indicate that you do have some.
Yes, especially during this COVID situation. Yeah, sometimes we cannot manage the time efficiently because sometimes the meeting in the early morning or in the late night. So yeah, because people tendency to work at home and this is a new situation actually for everyone, and I think create also some stressful condition, especially when I got COVID with family on the COVID before. So that's the most stressful condition, because when at the time I see the emergency room in the hospital is quite not so good situation in Indonesia, and hopefully not happen again in the future.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. That can't have been fun going through that. Yeah, it was interesting that you touch on that, because I was looking at your charts and seeing a slight convex lens, and just that's just that you have problems that you are perhaps hiding from colleagues that you can't resolve, but it just seems like it's perhaps a general frustration of these things that are out of your control.
Yeah, I think so, and I think this is also new for me, right? To get a new baby, to one boy and now a girl. So I'm in a learning position about that as well. So
yeah. Well, certainly being a high C personality, that would tell me that you prefer order over chaos. So not only having all of these COVID things outside of your control, but having a baby because they don't do as they're told. That can be quite challenging.
Yeah, and my wife is not getting vaccinated yet. So when
wow.
Because she was on pregnancy before Max, so that's not an easy situation as well for me. But my wife is strong enough, and thank you, everything already solved now. But the situation is very stressful at the time.
Yeah, well, still a concern, I'm sure. Again, like you're saying, it's something everybody's going through at the moment, and just with somebody who prefers structure and order, and almost being able to predict the outcome of everything, this constant moving of goalposts will be exceptionally frustrating, and it will affect your basic behavior. It will do.
I think no more words maybe. I think now the new strain coming, I don't know what will happen, but let's fight together about it. But basically, Max, about my strength condition before, mostly I will be more happy if have an offline meeting, because I can see the face, I can see also the gesture of people, like or not. I can. It's more attractive for me, more interesting for me to achieve the agreement when I have an offline meeting rather than on the online, I think.
I think I might have just picked up on where the difference is in how people perceive you, and what's showing up in the report. And just from what you've said, I believe, like me, you've done some research, and not only where I'm quite an expert when it comes to psychometrics, but I've also studied quadrant marketing, neurolinguistics, body language, cold reading, micro expressions. So I believe that you've done some similar research, which is why you have a tendency towards the face-to-face, and why you're probably very good at what you do.
Yeah, I think so, and maybe also because this is related with the practical skill before. So when I deal with the communities, I face so many person comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot only wasting time to discuss. Sometimes it goes in the community is okay actually, but sometimes learn because so many people comes to the foreigner. I mean not foreigner, as someone outside the village, right? Come to them and they discuss a lot of things in the early morning until in the late night. So I learned that, oh, this kind of communication need to be more effective or efficient, because if not, it will wasting your time and also wasting your energy. So learning from that kind of process, I need also to do research before who is the one who will discuss with me, and that habit still continue until now.
Yeah, wow, you must be a cutthroat negotiator. You need to be over here. You need to be, because there is a tendency to put a lot of ceremony on decision making, particularly if you're dealing with people in villages or outside of the city, where you're dealing with somebody who's in charge, and quite often there's a need for them to feel as if they've been wined and dined a little bit, although most likely it's tea and cigarettes. But they do like to feel that there's some ceremony that goes into the decision making, and can be a little slow in moving forward. So I like what you said there. I find it very interesting.
Yeah, maybe I learned something from the German cooperation before, that advisor in the middle between the researchers and also whisperer. So the researchers will be as neutral as possible, inform someone or someone or decision maker on what is the result of the research that they have, and the whisperer sometimes is not objective at all, because sometimes the whisperer is only following the leader or the one that they close to. So if Indonesia, the tendency to become the to do on the corruption or other maybe big as well, but the advisor is in the middle of them. So how we can use the research, and also how we understand also the whisperer work, we need to as professional as possible.
That's where it cuts out, and I worry we don't have it for the recording. I'd just love to hear about it. I was finding it very interesting.
Yeah, maybe I can repeat it again. Yeah, I learned because when an advisor in the middle side, we need to use the research report, because as the researcher, you need as neutral as possible, informing the result of your research to others. Like so that's the tendency. And from the whisperer side, because you are close with the politician, with the leaders, with the high level person, you need. Sometimes you are not as neutral as researchers. The tendency is you treat your boss or your leader as happy as possible, and the advisor is the middle of these two positions. So how you learn about what the whisperers work with the high level person, and how you bring the research result to the high level person. Maybe that's the strategy that I learned from my work actually. So maybe that also makes me trusted, or they can hear what I said to them.
Yeah, I'm just super interested. Anything that comes to psychology or behavior is just something that really interests me. So I'd never heard of things discussed in that way before. So perhaps if we ever find time to sit down and go through your PPR properly, I'd love to discuss that. I think I can talk at length about these things, because it's such a passion for me.
Yeah, for example, my last discussion with one of the German bosses is, after she present the detailed analysis of the work, the response from the line ministry's colleagues is, "Wow, your face in the Zoom is very clear now than before," something like that. And then suddenly she's surprised. Wah, I mean to her, it means that the line ministry's colleague already accepting you because they bring something funny first, after that discuss in more detail. That's also the contextual of Indonesia. Sometimes we need to understand. So yeah, maybe the whisperer understand about that. Maybe the whisperers know the habit of the bosses when he said like or dislike or something like that. So how this combined with a good valid data or information, so the decision maker can bring a good decision. So that's need to be take carefully by the advisor.
Yeah. Okay. I find that super interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. A little bit thrown off. I was just going to show you. I talk about these things. Just here on my desk, old books, The Asian Mind Game.
Okay, yeah.
Thick Face Black Heart.
Yeah.
Just very old school antique books that I like to pick up just to continue to educate myself on any new knowledge I can find. Sometimes the old knowledge is the best knowledge, so it's constantly evolving.
Yes, correct, Max.
Yes. So I think just because of the technical difficulties, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So what I'll do is hand you over to Deni, and perhaps we can arrange to meet at a more opportune time in the new year.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you again for your time. Thank you so much.
You, Max. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Max, for your feedback. So
I shall disappear again.
I will just remove you. No joke. So, Deni, how was that? It's a really short discussion of your PPR.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, Demi. Yeah, hopefully.
I will give your number to Mr. Max so he can contact you for a full consult.
Sure.
Mr. Max said in the beginning, we're not going to share everything from the personality profile report. But Max asked you a question. I'm going to repeat that question again. If you think, if you look at your report that you have received via email, how accurate was it? If you put it in percentages, was it 60% or 80% or maybe 90%? How accurate was the report according to you?
Yeah, I think it's about 75%. Yeah, more or less. I think some of them is relevant with the condition current now. But sometimes I see also that this is the new one. I haven't found it before. So, but basically, when I deeply thinking about that, this is happened actually.
Yeah. So actually, what you're saying is that you see things that you normally not like that. That's why you say 75%. Yes. But you also say that 25% is probably because of the COVID and the little stress we have now, and that makes it almost make it almost 90%. Yeah, for the moment. Now.
But actually, I love this kind of instrument. Yeah, because it makes us step back and thinking carefully about our side.
Exactly.
Yes, and then. This is what you want to do or not. How about your future? I still believe that the future of our life is depend on us. So thank you for this kind of instrument.
You said it before. You said it's a moment in time that you can review yourself. Who am I at this moment, and what do I like and what do I do not like about myself, and then we can work on that. And that's exactly what these tools are made for. And you know that I'm a communication training myself, also in psychology. To be honest, the methodology that DSIC, that SDA uses, is not really my preferred in the beginning. But when I met SDA, I understood after explanation from Mr. Mac, but also doing a test myself and the training as an analyst, I understood that this goes way beyond than just a method to put people in boxes, because the experience of SDA understands that we do not have 4 personalities, but we have maybe millions of personalities, and everyone have a different recipe of that, right? So for me, it's very important, because I heard you before totally in the beginning, you said something about you're now hiring a lot of people. That also brings a lot of pressure and a lot of chaos. If I would ask you the question, would a tool like this help you to find the right people for the right role? If you talk about behavior?
Actually, this is very helpful. Yeah, the first one is sometimes during our busy time we are not careful thinking about what is ourselves. So it means that when I said 75%, 25%, it means it's not totally wrong. Actually, it makes me thinking about myself. Oh yeah, I understood now. Oh, this is happens now, something like that. And some of them maybe because of the COVID. When I interview someone, I think I try to use the out of the box question. And so the people can shock the first, oh, why he asked me about this kind of question. But because as a personal, the simple question can help us or other to profile themselves better. So I think the SDA question is a simple question, and also can help me on expressing my situation now. So you can analyze better on that.
And that would be also very helpful when you're hiring people, right? If you know what kind of person you go in, and you can read the behavior before they are going into an interview with you, because then you know exactly where you need to ask the right question. Is actually what you're saying, right?
Yeah. I think my wife will continue or will read this YouTube later. I think I recommend also this kind of tools to the Rebricks in the future.
Well, discuss that with Mr. Max. Mr. Max is the director in Indonesia. So I want to thank you for your time also. Yeah. Are you at home at the moment?
Yes.
So that means you need to run to the baby soon to help your wife.
Yeah. Thank you, Deni.
Yeah. So Deni, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Normally we talk about sustainability, and today we're talking about behavior and the profiling of behavior. A little bit also my world, my actual expertise for myself. So I want to thank you for being here, and I hope you and Mr. Max have a good meeting later in the new year probably. So yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Deni.
Bingung membuat learning plan untuk perusahaan kamu? Sulit mencari training provider yang sesuai dengan anggaran kamu? Lembur terus untuk koordinasi dengan banyak training provider? Gak usah khawatir, Pasar Trainer punya semua solusinya. Puluhan training provider dengan ratusan program training tersedia di Pasar Trainer, baik offline maupun online. Kamu bisa memilih kategori training apapun sesuai dengan kebutuhan kamu. Tinggal daftar dan kamu sudah bisa pilih sendiri training terbaik buat kamu. Ubah cara lamamu membeli training dengan segala kemudahan di Pasar Trainer. Mau tahu lebih lanjut? Kunjungi www.pasartrainer.com.